Hello, everyone. My name is Salt.
And I'm Andy. Welcome to the Sports Chatter.
And today we're going to be doing the week 2 power rankings for the 2024-2025 NFL season. Now, we have all these things, all the rankings on a Google sheet. Me and Andy will take turns to say one by one on 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 the team and why I put it there. Both me and Andy have simultaneously agreed on these power rankings,
Mhm.
and we're gonna discuss why. And and this is our first ever recorded video.
Mhm.
Everything else has been a live stream. So yeah. All right. So I can kick things off. With our dead last spot at number 32, we have the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
Not much can be said about the Carolina
Yep.
Panthers that has already been not been said. Like they legitimately have a chance to go 0-17. Like it's not even
Yep.
funny. It's not even funny.
But
Like
coming out with losing 47-10, with having been outscored 30 points before getting a point on the board in the first half.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not good. That's not good at all. And the also by the way, if my room ever seems dark, guys, it's because I have no light. That'll be fixed soon. um, but the Panthers they got scored massively by the Saints of all teams, most mid team ever, and yeah, it's just not a good look, not a good look at all. All right,
Yep.
Andy, you take the next one.
Next, we got the New York Giants at number 31. Obviously, they are not good. They have Daniel Jones. They got destroyed by Minnesota. Uh, and yeah,
Yeah.
31 is the Giants.
Also, they have thank God they're not wearing those horrendous 100-year anniversary uniforms again. All right.
Yeah.
Number 30, number 30 is actually kind of a surprising one for some people. It's the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans choked the lead against the Chicago Bears. Literally had
Mhm.
that game in the grass. Then Will Levis started playing like shit. And
Yeah, the Bears defense had two pick sixes. The Bears defense had a fumble recovery. Uh, all the Bears points came from the defense or special teams.
yeah, not good for the Titans. And do you know who they're facing next, Andy?
They are facing. No, I don't. Who are they facing?
That's a good question. I'm gonna look that up. They are facing the Jets next week on Sunday. So,
Hmm.
do they have a chance? I don't know. All right.
Next up, we got Denver at 29. Because obviously they didn't look good at all last week. Bo Nix looked terrible. That defense looked terrible. Um, but the good news for them, they're the only team this year that got two safeties. I don't think
Yeah,
they
I don't think it's
like
gonna
they
be
have
beaten.
like two safeties in this game. That's but they're bad. That's why they're not number 29.
Yes. All right. I sent Andy the document. That's why I was on my phone. Jesus Christ, I got
All right.
flash banged. All right. Let
That's what
me
she
shut the fuck.
said.
All right. Number
I just
28.
saw keep that in.
Number 28, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders, I mean, they could be better. Like they lost to the Chargers, which isn't bad. Like, but personally, I think the Raiders could do better. They also Gardner Minshew is only there for a temporary spot as their quarterback. They're going to try to find probably someone new if he doesn't work out in next year's draft. Um, so yeah, the Raiders kind of in a sticky spot right now, but hey,
All right. So next up, we got the Arizona Cardinals. Uh, they play competitively against the Bills, but they blew a 17-point lead and after going into halftime, they blew a lead. They couldn't stop Josh Allen. They can play competitive, but they cannot. They still have not won a competitive game yet. So that's why. 27.
All right. The next one up is the New England Patriots with a shocking victory over the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday. Obviously the Patriots. I'm not speaking as a biased Bengals fan. They played the Week 1 Bengals, so that's kind of a free win there. But the Patriots, not only that, like they would be lower on this list, but their defense looks actually promising. I will say that.
Yeah,
The defense looks promising. Now I'm not gonna be glazing fucking I'm blanking on the quarterback.
Jacoby Brissett.
I'm gonna be glazing Jacoby Brissett, but he played well in that game. Everyone played well in that game, and if they get blown
The
out in the
run game
next
was
game,
the run game was actually pretty good.
yeah, no,
Because
right? Yeah.
Mondre had over 100 yards.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And if
but
they
they
get
also benefited with dumb mistakes from the Bengals.
yeah,
They benefited
so
from
it,
Taylor
it really
wasting
just
a timeout.
yeah,
They
so
benefited from a muff punt. They benefited
yep.
the
Yeah.
Bengals tight end not holding
Yeah,
on
and if
to
it
a
wasn't for that,
fumble.
the
Like,
Patriots might have lost that game. But it really next week, we'll see how well they play. If they play at the same level they did this week, hey, you never know.
yes. All right, next up we got the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels looks promising, but again, they're still Commanders.
Still
Suck.
Commanders. Yep, they're kind of it's kind of still a rebuild year. All right, next up we got the New Orleans Saints whooping the Panthers ass. What was it like? It was like 30-7. It was like 30-3
At
at
the half.
halftime. It was
Yeah,
embarrassing. The Saints, in my opinion, are the most mid team of right now.
yeah,
Just so
yeah.
mid.
They're
Derek Carr is not good, but he went off in the Panthers game.
yeah,
Alec Mary went off. Like everyone went off in that game, but again, granted, it was against the Panthers, so we need to see them in another week before we can actually like give a full determination on how well this team can play.
yeah. All right, number 23 is the Atlanta Falcons. Uh,
Hmm.
they only scored 10 points against the Steelers. Everyone was hyping them up, and yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how they did not win. The Steelers didn't. We'll get to the Steelers in a minute, actually.
but they didn't get any field touchdowns that
No, they
game.
didn't. No, they didn't. Um,
Oh, great. What's next?
what's up next is at number 22. We have the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers got a dub against the Raiders. Cool. John Harbaugh. Yeah, it's John Harbaugh.
Jim.
Jim, my bad.
Jim.
I get those two confused
John's
all the
the
time.
John is the Ravens.
Yeah,
John's the Ravens.
Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh looked promising as a head coach. And Joe Alt looks like a superstar in the making. Like,
Hmm.
it looks promising, and you can definitely tell Jim Harbaugh's plan for the team is definitely run happy and not pass happy, which is thank God. Well, I would do the same thing when we have Quentin Johnson as your wide receiver one. But
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. So next up, Chicago Bears.
yeah, pretty low actually. Putting
Yeah.
it pretty
Well, the
low.
Bears, all their points came from the defense. Uh, well, most of their points came from the defense. Their offense was not that great. Caleb had less than 100 yards in his debut. Uh, so yeah,
Caleb Williams, as of week one, does not look that great. No, we just need to
yeah.
see how he performs against the Texans next
Hmm.
week, which we'll be live streaming.
Hmm.
All right.
All right. Next
Next
up,
up, we got the Cleveland Browns. Oh God. Okay. The Cleveland Browns. I don't think this week could have gone any worse. First, they get their ass kicked by the Cowboys. Then Deshaun Watson gets another sexual assault allegation, and then
yeah,
And then they signed Kadarius Toney, which I don't know if Tony's gonna be a starter or just a backup. I don't know. But it's if they're signing Kadarius Toney, they're searching for wide receivers because no one in their right mind would be signing Kadarius Toney. All right,
yes.
not even yeah, Stefanski can save Kadarius Toney. Like, come on.
All right, number
Um,
19, it's the
Seahawks. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
here's why the Seahawks. Well, again, they're like the definite kind of the definition of mid. They were 9 and 8 the last 2 years,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it doesn't. They haven't shown much improvement. So middle of the pack.
yeah, yeah. That is true. All right, number 18 is the Colts barely losing to the Texans on Sunday. Um the Colts, now I can't really speak for that one, but Andy can, because he was
All
actually
right,
the one
so
watching the game.
the Colts played solid, but Richardson showed a lot of promise. He threw dime after dime. He had like 4 long passes, burning the. I believe I forgot who kept on getting burned, but it was not looking good.
Mm.
They played very well. Richardson showed promise, and the Colts should be look in the playoff mix this year.
Yep, very much so. All right, number 17, we have the Minnesota Vikings going into the season. Oh boy, got James McCarthy hurt. We got a bunch of other people hurt. And then they went into week one. They went into MetLife and they kicked the Giants' ass. I forgot what the final score was, but they kicked the Giants' ass. And I don't know if it's just the Giants being a bad team or the Vikings have promise, but I believe it's gonna be the former. Because the Vikings, they're not gonna be that great. But
Mhm.
the only reason they're at 17 is because they blew out the Giants. That's really
Yeah.
it.
All right. Next up, Jacksonville. They blew a lead against the Dolphins, and but they still showed Trevor looked pretty solid. But their run game looked okay. But they
Yep,
blew a lead against the Dolphins, with including with a pissed off Tyreek Hill. He went for an 80-yard touchdown
yep,
after being illegally detained. And
yes.
yeah, that's all
We'll
I
we'll
can
get we'll get
say.
to that more when we get to the Dolphins. But Jacksonville almost upset the Dolphins. That's okay. Um, Number 15, we got the New York Jets. The Monday Night Football game was so boring that I fell asleep at halftime. That's how boring
Yeah,
the game was. It was just the Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers against the 49ers. Like that's just all it was. And
yeah,
Aaron Rodgers didn't look that great, but granted, it was the 49ers. So they get a pass. Now if they face Tennessee and they'll keep and their offense is like this, ooh, it's gonna be a long season. It's
yep.
gonna be a very long season.
All right, next up is Pittsburgh. Common Mike Tomlin Steelers game. It's all the defense. It's all the
Yep,
special teams. Like the
yep,
offense is non-existent. Like Steelers fans have been like, "Oh, this is going to be an improvement this year," and the offense hasn't improved at all. It still seems like Matt Canada is coaching that offense.
yeah.
So
And not only that, if you want to be competitive in the AFC North, you have to have a good offense. A good defense
yeah,
is good. You need a good offense because you're not getting past the Ravens or Browns defense with that.
yeah,
Um. Next up, we have the Dolphins. Like we talked before, Tyreek Hill before the game was illegally arrested. Well, not arrested, detained by Miami police, and came in and then just had a good game. And the Dolphins barely escaped a win with a walk off kick, and not much can be said about the game. Hopefully they can continue with the high offensive team.
yeah. They play tomorrow night.
Yep.
Well, the time that we post
Yeah,
this will be.
kind of. Yeah, when this is uploaded, they'll be playing on Thursday Night Football.
Mhm. All right, next up, Tampa Bay. Baker continued to show what he showed last year, which was good poise. Uh, I'm still a little skeptical about Tampa Bay, but they look pretty good against Washington, so
They did look pretty good. Yeah, granted,
nothing new.
granted that it was Washington, so I guess it's
Yeah,
really, but they show promise. They show promise. All right, number 11 is the Cincinnati Bengals losing to the Patriots 16-10. Now, I was watching the game and I wanted to throw myself off a cliff watching the game because how could we lose to the Patriots? However, I should have expected it. However, the Bengals itself, I don't. If this was my list, I would have. Nah, they may be worse than the Buccaneers, but I'm putting them up here just because it's only week one. Like they need to work on that tight end room because yikes. They're clearly missing Mixon. However, Moss to have some pretty good yards, and they need to target Chase more, and hopefully Higgins can be back soon from his hamstring.
All right, next up we got Green Bay. We've both lost this Brazil game. Green Bay looked good. Philly looked good at that in that game.
Yep.
Philly later.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they're not. They may drop off a cliff because Jordan Love probably a contender for IR. He sprained his MCL. Uh, and but it might be bad for a couple of weeks for them with Malik Willis. Like the
Yeah.
few games Malik
Yeah.
Willis started
Yeah.
in his career, it was not good games.
No.
So
No.
praying for you,
Uh,
Packers fans.
all right. Next up, we got the Rams almost winning and almost winning in overtime. Which this game, like many other overtime games, has sparked a little conversation on Twitter on if the NFL should implement the playoff overtime into the regular season, because the regular season overtime is still kind of scuffed. It's like one team can really run the ball down the throat or do whatever, and then as soon as they get a touchdown, they win. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll talk more about it with the Lions. However, the Rams itself, Cup had a day, Stafford had a day.
Yeah, they
Puka,
almost beat the Lions with this this
yeah,
terrible injury bug they have, but
yeah,
the good news
and
is they faced a couple easy opponents.
yep,
They faced the Cardinals this week, so if they get a win, they should be okay for.
yeah. Which is what we'll see how the Cardinals can cover Cup. That's the biggest one.
Yeah. Next up is Buffalo. Again, Josh Allen. That's
Yeah,
what do we else do we have to say?
yeah. Josh Allen. Josh Allen came back from a 17-0 deficit. Yeah, that is the Buffalo Bills. Number 7, like we were saying before, the Detroit Lions winning in overtime by shoving the ball down the Rams' throat. They might pass like once on the overtime drive. That's it. All the Lions, the same Lions they are from last year now. They could tell they lost pieces. However, their offense still looks good and their defense still looks pretty good. Like it's still a team that was in the NFC Championship just last season. So I'm
Hmm.
excited to see what we can get from them this season.
All right, next up, Philly. Saquon looks like a beast. AJ Brown still a beast. Jalen Hurts still throwing questionable balls, but as long as he's not losing Philly games, he's still gonna be there for a bit. So
Yep. All right. Number 5, we got the Cowboys. The Cowboys beating smashing the Browns in Cleveland. Now I only watched a little bit of this game, but from what I can tell, a lot of
Deshaun
the
Watson sucked.
yeah, that's the main reason. Now, Cowboys fans, don't be getting your hopes up like we're going to be winning the suit. No, for the reason you guys kind of won that game was because Deshaun Watson is just not a good quarterback,
Yeah,
and he threw a lot of questionable passes and stuff. But Dak did still look pretty good. Dak looked pretty good, and CeeDee Lamb looked pretty good.
yeah.
Not much
All
to say
right.
there.
Next up, Houston. Eh, the reason why they're not up higher is because the three remaining teams are teams that are insane.
Yep.
So, but even though we won, uh, we are still questionable on defense. We allowed 300 yards passing from almost 300 passing from Anthony Richardson. We just got the air. We handled the run game well, and these throws. Stephon Diggs had a good game. So did CJ. So did Nico. But
And
plus that secondary is
I will say if the Texans can like the Texans have a really good offense. If they can keep going with that offense, shit, I don't know what they'll be a powerhouse. Number three got Baltimore losing the game against the Chiefs by literally a toe. Like they would have won the game. They like Harbaugh was planning on going for two in at the end of the game. Like you saw our live reactions. They were planning on going for it. And, um, if it wasn't for the refs being like, "Well, hold on," they would've won the game. But other than that, Lamar, played
Well,
good.
all score plays get reviewed immediately,
Yeah,
so
yeah, true. Um, but Lamar looked really good, but that O-line, yeah,
and
that
Lamar
O-line looks rough.
Lamar missed some throws, but and also whose idea was it to have a running back uh, block Chris Jones?
Yeah, that was a questionable decision, but the Jets basically stole the Ravens O-line, and they are begging for that back because of when you face teams like Cleveland and Pittsburgh,
Mhm.
you're gonna want that O-line, and that O-line is just non-existent.
All right, what's next?
We got San Francisco. Wha- San Francisco.
All
San
right,
Francisco.
San Fran. We got San Fran. Uh, they looked very good. Purdy looked on point. Debo looking like Debo. We didn't see much of Ayuk, but but again, he's there. No McCaffrey, but his backup did insane.
Yeah, Mason did really good. But McCaffrey, if they did really good without McCaffrey. Now, that may be bad for fantasy owners, but like they did well without McCaffrey, so that's pretty good. And then finally, number one, it is they won last week. That's why we put them at number one. Is the defending champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs looked really good in the opener. Now,
Yeah.
now we still don't know how Mahomes will handle the connection with Hollywood. That's still up in the air, and I don't know if Hollywood's playing against the Bengals. He may
hmm
be, he may not be. That's the question mark.
And
Um,
until until they get knocked off their pedestal, the Chiefs are number one.
yeah, until something happens. Now, the only reason if they win and they get knocked off is that if they have like kind of a crappy game and like San Francisco gets like a really good game, that's probably when we would
Mhm.
knock them off. But but for right now, the Chiefs, Checo still looks good. Mahomes looks good. Okay, we didn't see much of Kelsey, but Kelsey looked decent, kind of. Um, and we'll just see how they go again at home in another sort of prime time spot against the Bengals, one of their worst enemies. Let's see how
Mhm.
they can control it. They're probably going to beat our ass, but hey, let's see how they do it. And that is
And
our sorry, Andy. That is our list of this week's power rankings. Leave a comment down below saying how you would change one, switch the other, put this team at number
yeah,
4, put this team at number 1. Let us know.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, subscribe, like, comment down below again, you know, and the and this has been sports chatter. Keep in mind there'll be a live stream this Sunday, for Texans and Buzz. Hope
yep.
to see
We'll
you
upload.
there.
We'll upload pretty consistently.
Yeah, we'll
Oh
try to
well,
upload like videos like this. We'll try to do
yeah,
power rankings every week, and then hopefully maybe at like the midpoint we can do like mid-season awards.
yep.
Do something like that. Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.